Okay, let's do this. Hello, friends and fiends. Welcome to Bugs Need Heroes, the podcast about insect superpowers. Each episode, an artist and an entomologist team up to illustrate the inspiring abilities of insects by creating bug-themed superheroes. I'm Amanda.
I'm Kelly.
Producer Derek, and I missed what cats are here.
Desi and Clementine.
Okay. Producer Derek and Clementine and Desi are here today. We also have a special guest, Joey Santore is here as well. We're very excited to talk to him today. But before we talk to him, what's bugging you, Kelly?
We just got our pepper plants yesterday. We ordered a few peppers and we're getting them planted up on the balcony. I don't know, longtime listeners will know I don't have a yard. I'm in an apartment. So we have a balcony and some peppers. And for the first time, we're doing savory and I think it's pizote, if I'm remembering properly. Yeah, for beans.
I
So
don't know.
yeah, just
Are you worried
getting
about the
ready for
cats?
planting season.
Do cats chew on pepper plants?
No,
My cat chews on everything, so.
my cats don't really tend to like the pepper plants. They don't go for it. They go for everything else, but not that. So just very happy we're getting into planting season and we'll have herbs and peppers this year. And my lemon tree is making lemons. So
What?
yeah, this is the first year that's happened. So we'll see how that goes. That might not go well.
Sky high lemon tree, huh?
Well, the ants are being kind of a pain in the about that. So
the ants are crazy this year. I'll tell you that for free.
What's bugging you, Amanda?
Well, I went to a native plant sale yesterday, which was awesome, and it was to the benefit of the nature preserve that it was like literally in the visiting center of a nature preserve, which was awesome. I really liked, supporting local native plant life. The funny thing is, I took my dad with me, and I'm pretty sure he bought a plant he already owns. He was like, "Wow, look at this one," and I was like, "Dad, you have that plant?" And he was like, "No, I don't have this one. This one's a different one." And I was like, "No, Dad. You for sure have that plant." And he's like, "Nope, I'm buying it." And I was like, "Okay." And then
we take it home. Two of the same plant. It's fine.
We take it home, and the first thing my mom says is, "Don't we already have that plant?"
Like, at least it's native.
Indeed, we do.
At least it's native.
Which explains why it just goes crazy every year. Every year it's huge, and they have to chop it back from the house. But
speaking of native plants,
yes,
we're very excited for our guest from Crime Pays But Botany Doesn't, and ain't that the truth, man? That's entomology also doesn't pay, Joey. So I feel you.
Yeah, the entire country's defunding science.
Yes. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts a lot right now. It's why I'm still an adjunct professor and can't get a full-time gig. So Joey, you are your voice is one of the last voices I hear before I go to bed at night. My husband loves your channel. We watch it all the time. I love that you're an excellent proponent for native plants. Obviously, as an entomologist, native plants are super important to me because they help foster our insect communities here. What have you been up to? You've been traveling lately?
I got invited to the Philippines to go help with a survey out there and just check out the Philippines. It was cool. Lots of old world lineages of plants, lots of ficus, lots of climbing aroid genera that we don't get, in the Western Hemisphere. And yeah, it was great. I mean, I love travel. I only travel to see plants. I don't really travel to see people. I'm not really interested in.
Yeah,
I like a little interest in human cultures, but it's there's too many similarities among all of them. At least as far as am concerned, same human behaviors all over the world. I mean, I dabble, but my main interest is in the variations that have been produced over the last however many dozens of million years among Earth's plant life. I just find that so much more fascinating. The things they've evolved with, the insects that have shaped their evolution, the geology that shaped their evolution, the elevations that have shaped their evolution, the rainfall patterns that have shaped I mean, it's on and on and on. Yeah, that's what I love to see. And so, I was looking at Kazakhstan on a map today. There was a genus of legume that I is a sister genus to one that we get here in Texas, and this one grows in Kazakhstan. And I was thinking, damn, I wonder what it's like in
Are you
Kazakhstan
gonna
to
go to
find.
Kazakhstan now to check out this legume?
I mean, it's not, it's not first on my list, but it's on my list now. I didn't know
That's
before,
cool.
so um, yeah. So I that's what I am interested in, and yeah, native plants. I mean, every region, of course, has its own native plants, and that's what you know. I think that the thing I'm always ranting about lately is, because I noticed a lot of people. You always hear the same things people say when they're. I'll try not to curse on this.
Oh, you
It's
can
hard for
curse.
me to.
We know it's
You always hear
fine.
the same stupid shit
Yep.
that people say when they see plants, because especially in America, because most Americans are afraid of nature. They're really
Hmm.
afraid of it. They say, "Oh, look at the ticks and the bugs," right? And like, well, you get ticks on the East Coast because you got 200 years of idiotic land management, fire suppression, and deer overpopulations. Where
Oh,
the
the
fucking
deer
ticks are so
here are
right? So, so blame the fucking idiots that have been in
hmm
control the last 200 years. The arrogant, I could just fucking, I don't whatever, you get the point. The arrogant attitude that has suppressed fire from
hmm
landscapes that
Yes.
obviously were adapted to it, that has wiped out all the predators, let the deer get overpopulated.
Well,
Blame that,
I
right?
grew up
It's not.
in the Pine Barrens, and we need fire here. We like
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
and so anyway, but it's fine. Alpha Gal's good for the vegan restaurant industry, which is, I'm not vegan, but it's good for business for someone at least, right?
Right.
Um, and also, yeah, Americans just eat too much meat anyway. But anyway, so but people see nature and they say, oh, it's messy and well, this stupid shit, this really deranged stupid shit. And the archetype for how plants are supposed to look is English Victorian gardens
Hmm.
and Spanish colonial gardens and these fucking Tuscan villas. And I did a Wild Ones podcast a while ago, and even there were like, there were like some Karens coming on who were like native plant people, but they were like, he was too mean on these, the because I shit all over that stuff. I shit
Hmm.
all over the Victorian gardening style and the everything's in uniform lines and even spacing. Like, why do you want to do that?
It's
Do you go out into
it looks
nature at all?
bad.
You ever Yeah, it looks
It looks
fucking
bad.
ridiculous. I mean, if you're growing like an apple orchard, that makes sense to
Hmm.
have uniform lines and
Hmm.
even spacing. The fuck do you want to do that with when you're trying to recreate nature? Like I've spent so much of my time trying to get away from human society because it mostly makes me want to puke. I like people as individuals. I don't like society. And
Yep.
then and trying to get to nature, I don't want to recreate elements of human society with its fixation on control. And I'm not talking about stewardship, but control. They're very different
Hmm.
things, right? Even lines, uniform, this fucking weird, like products on a shelf at Walmart. It's just so weird to me. And when we were filming that Kill Your Lawn show, which is like this little two-bit cable show that no one can watch because the network basically made it completely unavailable.
Oh man.
They just had a couple business fumbles. They weren't very experienced, I don't think. But when I was filming that, we had this one landscaper, total prick too, really arrogant guy, rich boy, whatever. No, he's not going to listen to this podcast, so I
Yeah,
can
he's
do
never gonna
this.
hear
Normally,
this. Don't worry about it.
We're
Yeah.
not
normally I
his
don't do
we're
this.
not his demographic.
A little
Yeah.
bit more elegant, but he tried to do that with natives. He's like, and the stuff this guy said, I was like, we want a nice, diverse prairie garden, and he's like, it was in Illinois. He's like, we're doing lines of carex and blah blah. I'm
No,
like,
no.
the
Yeah.
guy wants bees. He said he wants bee. You're planting a fucking wind pollinated plant. Why are you doing that? He wants bees. You fucking good. He's like, well, this looks orderly, and so I said, no, we're not doing this. So after he left, and he was getting paid like 40 G's or something for this shit,
Mm,
a gross amount of money. And the homeowner was really cool. He just didn't know any better.
yeah.
And so we went in there, me and Al went in there afterwards, ripped up all the carrots, planted them in other places and mixed them in with other stuff. And so it wasn't a monoculture like this nitwit uh,
It's
had done.
really
And we
frustrating
did
someone can do that.
and the prairie garden looks amazing. It's diverse,
Ah.
it's full of color, it's fucking dope. And I think about that guy and I'm like, why was he doing that? Like,
Hmm.
oh, because this is the shit they teach you in horticulture school. This is just what you do. There's no right and so many horticulturalists don't actually get out into nature. So that's what I want to do. We're gonna crowdfund a project where I'm gonna get a sketchy kidnapper van, right? The Scooby-Doo van, and I'm just gonna go kidnap some of these landscapers, right? Just ether chloroform them, take them in a van, dose them, leave them in the desert for a day or two, and just, get them to actually see nature
Mm.
so that they
Yeah.
stop doing this repugnant shit. And I get it, a lot of people got to do that because that's what the market wants. That's what people want. But, it's
People
got to
don't know any
change.
better. You can make
It's
them want something
discordant. Yeah.
nicer, right?
Yeah, it's disc, and you see gardens like that, and they're always fucking dead. They're always quiet.
Yes.
There's never any cool bees in them. They never sound like anything. There's never any dragonflies. There's nothing.
It's awful. We have
Went
like
on a tangent.
we have
Sorry,
that set
but
up
do it.
at the no, it's fine. We have that set up at the bottom of my building. I'm in a high rise in Jersey City, and I have asked them multiple times, can you please stop planting these shitty like Home Depot specials? Can we get some native plants in? Because one, they just keep dying. It's windy here, and it's kind of dry, and nothing they put in these pots survives. What they need to do is put natives in, and of course they don't listen. They don't listen to me. What do I
It
know?
always looks it always looks 10 times better when it's dead. At least then it's funny, right? When
Yeah.
you see like a Bradford pear or like a boxwood or something and it looks healthy, I'm like, fuck. When I see it and it's dead, I'm like,
Good.
I chuckle a little bit. It looks awesome. Yeah, just like this dead stick in this like bed of dyed mulch. You fucking morons, But anyway, but yeah. So we got to get the teens into this.
Yeah.
Get them to get electric chainsaws and just go out and hack at these things. Just start vandalizing some of this non-native,
Count me in.
garbage horticulture. Right? Get kids just to go out and learn to identify Bradford pears.
And
Just
boxwoods.
100% accuracy, and just get them to go start hacking. Because
Hmm.
when you're a teenager, vandalism's fun, right? And you can get
Right.
away with it. When I was like 14, we used to go steal super soakers and fill them with lighter fluid and light lawn bags on fire. Just get the teens to redirect that energy towards, invasive horticultural atrocities.
Can you you mentioned stewardship before. Can you talk to us a
I don't
little?
want to get you guys in trouble I'm sorry, I'm advocating vandalism on a podcast. I don't want to get you
Oh,
guys
you won't.
demonetized.
Don't worry about it. We've probably advocated for some fucked up shit before too. It's okay. But yeah, so you mentioned stewardship before and the difference between stewardship and things like horticulture. Can you maybe tell our audience about what stewardship means to you?
For stewardship would be maintaining species diversity. It would be, something as simple as if a tree falls in the middle of a trail, you just, prune it up, buck it up, move it out of the way, doing things that create habitat for critters, removing invasives. Someone who actually spends time in their ecosystem and knows what's good for it because they've paid attention to it and thought about it, not because they've read a book or anything like that.
Hmm.
We seem to have this idea in America where what books do I need? I'm just going to go read. No, just go out there. Just get out there and ask questions, and then you can look it up on the internet. You can ask the internet questions. Just the point is to get you thinking about what you're looking at. Why is it like this? What is this? Why is this growing like this? Does this have any correlation to this? That's the point of
Yeah.
that's how you learn. You don't learn by just going out and just sit and read a book and just it's not if you're not there hands on, you're not going to remember most of it anyway, you
I
know?
think Americans are
Um,
afraid to make mistakes, so they feel like they really gotta book it up first, but
well,
it
that's
doesn't matter. Yeah.
our whole education system is based around, ensuring you can get a degree so you can work a job you hate,
Yep. Yep.
for 30 years and then still not have any money to retire or buy a house. That's the American dream. That's what we're taught, right? So
Exactly.
get away from all that. Just go out and start doing it and don't be afraid to fuck up. I think that's the
Hmm.
most important thing. When
Because
you're killing a
because you're
lawn or
gonna,
whatever.
and that's okay.
But think about things when you're out there, right?
Yeah.
This is
Oh
why
yeah.
maybe people got to taper off the weed a little bit because I feel like weed really fucks this up sometimes. I feel like, no offense to any potheads, but I've seen some goofy shit come out. People start smoking weed it's better than booze, but anyway. Um, so yeah, that's what stewardship is. I mean, like just what we were doing today. We were doing a volunteer cleanup, removing buffalo grass. We got like 20 people to show up to this spot. We get buffalo grass. It's a horrible invasive species, very important in Africa where it's native, where it evolved with giant animals chewing on it. It's very robust. It comes back, resprouts very easily. But here, it was brought in for cattle and it just smothers everything. And there's this really cool little area. It's got a lot of potential. We've got desert tortoises living there, Texas
Cool.
tortoises, whatever. And so, we'll go and we went and we removed all this buffalo because nothing can use it. The only thing that can use it are cows, and there's no cows there. And and I gotta order a wood chips dump. We spread wood chips out to hopefully, make it so we don't have to water the ground as much after we plant stuff, and also so any seeds will be a little bit more restricted in their growth because they've got a layer of chips they'll have to bust through. then we planted some stuff, and so that, and just doing stuff like that. And then we cut up some of the logs that were blocking the trail, stacked them up so they'd be nice habitat for,
Awesome.
the xylocopas. We get the bumblebees and the lizards and stuff, and that's stewardship,
Yes.
just taking care of the land, and you learn that you learn how to do that by spending time out there and thinking about this stuff.
It's observation, right? A lot of folks go
Mhm.
outside and they don't look at the world around them. They just move through it without paying attention.
No, yeah, or they're numbed, which I can't blame them. There's like plenty of reasons to just be numbed from all the horrible shit in the world today. So
Yeah. Um,
So on this
so
podcast, we've talked before about native. Well, I'm trying to figure out how to. So we talked about invasive species. We talked before about tansy and how tansy was like killing cattle, and that was the only thing that made them care enough to like fight back against this invasive plant.
what's tansy? I don't even know
Oh,
tansy. What is?
so tansy is this. It's this yellow weed looking thing, right? And
Oh,
it
Tanacetum vulgare. Where's it from? It's from the. Oh, yeah, it's Eurasian. Yeah.
yeah, and so it kills cattle when they eat too much of it. It gives them like this horrible bloat, and they topple over, and you have to like physically ungas them by stabbing them. It's a whole thing. Um,
Jesus.
so you're right. So they're trying to get rid of this tansy, and what they finally found worked was bringing in a bug that eats the tansy. So at least for the purposes of our podcast, we're very interested in that sort of thing where, hey,
the
how can we
biocontrol.
interact the bugs with these invasive plants? Have you run into anything like that where you're seeing bugs be part of the solution to these invasive plants
I
things?
mean, bugs are the solution to all. Like oh God, what is the? I can't think of it. A kudzu is not a problem where
Mhm.
it's native because there's 15 different species of insects at least that they utilize it. But then again, the problem is when you bring those bugs over, can they
Then
move to related plants? Like, are there
Right.
other members of the
sometimes.
Asteraceae, the sunflower family, that because Tanacetum, tansies in the sunflower family? Are there other things they can move to? So that's where you run into the problems, because like every major tree disease killing North American trees right now is from another continent,
Yep.
and that's
Right.
why it's killing it because it didn't evolve here. They evolved no resistance to it, right? Like chestnut blight doesn't affect Chinese chestnuts because they spent 9 million years evolving together on the same continent. But
Yeah.
here it's it takes apart American
I think I saw
chestnuts. So
something recently where some I think he's a botanist on YouTube found a few American chestnuts that were immune.
Starting to,
So
yeah,
I
resist.
think we're hopefully getting
maybe
some hope with that,
maybe I've
but
been hearing that for the last 20 years now,
really?
and
Oh no.
it really pans out. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so 9 million years. Chinese chestnut and the chestnut blight were in an evolutionary arms race,
Hmm.
right? A back and forth. Like one would evolve some resistance, the other would evolve some more pathogenicity, and boom, boom, boom. We'll go back like so. You've got all these. It's not just a single gene or a few genes that endow the Chinese chestnut with resistance. It's thousands. And so that's why there hasn't been any resistance in American ones till now. So I'm really skeptical of that. But there's people trying to breed new ones, so
Yeah, I think they're trying to hybridize, right, with the Chinese chestnut.
yeah, without getting the alleles that code for short stature
Yeah.
and that kind of thing, but getting the alleles that code for resistance. So I just don't think our technology's there yet. If we could identify all the alleles or even just like half the alleles that code for resistance to Cryphonectria parasitica in Chinese chestnut and find a way to swap those into American, that would be the way to do it. But it's
Well, yeah,
easier said than
sometimes they
done.
come attached to other alleles and you can't kind of
Right,
separate them anyway. So
right.
it's difficult.
What was
Um,
that famous one where they tried to make a plant really purple and then it came out white because
I don't know.
I don't
they
know.
they tried to give it like double purple gene and double purple gene turned out the flowers turned white. I'm sure producer
It
Derek
sounds like
knows.
just a bunch of scientists just spitballing, like, wouldn't this be funny? Like it's
See.
One of my favorite videos of yours, Joey, was the huge, it's in a parking lot. It was a giant poison ivy tree. Where
oh yeah.
is that thing still around?
No, I think I got cut down. I think
Really?
maybe my video
Oh
inspired them
no.
to it.
That
It's
thing
all
was
right. There's plenty of
huge.
poison ivy out there. It's doing okay, but yeah, it was hilarious, man. We stayed in some flea bag motel. I don't like a luxury hotel. I like a very mid to above mid hotel where they're not going to complain that I'm sneaking dogs in or that,
Oh, yeah.
I like it when their standards are low. And the wealthy hotels, the rich schmucks, they don't offer free breakfast anymore anyway. So like not even like an orange or something, like right. You so go to like a Marriott. There's still a Marriott in the outskirts of Houston that I want to vandalize at some point because they it's a long story. My daughter and I got forced to stay at this Marriott in Houston, and she accidentally peed the bed a little bit. She was wearing a diaper. She was young, and then they billed us $500, didn't even tell us, and so
Oh,
I got
that's
five hundred
shitty.
dollars worth of work I got to do on their plate glass window. It's but this is I shouldn't be talking about.
We
We're just joking around,
we're just kidding
right? They
here.
were real
Nothing.
disgusting though. They were
Legal
real
reasons. This is a
wealthy.
joke.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
even a
Marriott by the
Marriott. Who
George
knows what it
Bush
was?
Airport. I'm coming for you. Um, but uh, but anyway, but yeah, so we came out of this hotel and I looked and they were like up this Scotch pine. It was just like it looked like the whole tree was poison ivy, right? It looked like the poison ivy was definitely stealing light and compromising the the integrity
I couldn't believe how
of the
robust it was. It
it was
was
amazing. It
wild.
was so and I'm really allergic too, so I was impressed. But there's a actual poison tree with the same compound in it, Metopium toxiferum, and that grows in the Miami area. Beautiful tree. I think it's prettier than poison ivy.
Is
But
that
yeah, the whole thing is it's like a giant tree that gets well, not giant, it's like a medium-sized tree. But yeah.
I saw a poisonwood tree in the Bahamas and it was really beautiful. It had this
Yeah,
gorgeous
same
kind
thing.
of bark. Same, is it the same species?
Yeah.
Yeah, really pretty.
Is
Um,
poison ivy one of the ones that you get more and more allergic to? Like every time you interact with it?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I mean, you meet people who are like, I'm not allergic to it. I
Yeah.
just haven't been sensitized yet, and then they
I
get sensitized.
That
And
happened to
Mm.
me. I was not allergic to poison ivy for many, many years. Like I said, I grew up in the New Jersey Pine Barrens, spent a lot of time
yeah.
roaming around. And then I was doing volunteer work with my husband, pulling out invasive species and invasive plants in this one conservation area. And I must have touched poison ivy, and it went right up my arm to my face. And I
Oh,
go to the doctor and I'm like, I'm immune to poison ivy. And he goes, not anymore. So
You were.
I was, yeah.
yeah, brutal. Yeah, there was a third of I think like a third of the plants in that family have that compound in them. So
Wow.
I don't know. I had a bad interaction with one in the Dominican Republic. Another beautiful plant, but it was, I touched it and didn't realize it was contained urushiol, and then I got, yeah, my face swelled up and
Oh
just went and
God.
got prednisone. Dominican Republic's got a better healthcare
Oh, I'm
system
sure.
than we do, so
Yeah, I'm
I
sure.
just paid $5, got some prednisone. I didn't have to shell out $200 for a doctor visit and work out on top of the insurance or whatever.
Your pound of flesh.
Yeah. Uh, so in your videos, I'm always incredibly impressed that you know the genus and species names of everything, it feels like, while you're moving around that
No,
space, or at least the family.
no,
So,
I forget stuff, but yeah.
well, it doesn't seem like it when we're
It
watching.
does not come across that way, no.
Yeah, not at all. But plant radiation, evolutionarily speaking, has been very different than the radiation of animals, or even, I guess, maybe fungi. I know a lot less about fungi, but there's only like what, 500 or something families of plants, where
Sure. Maybe.
somewhere
Yeah.
around
I
there.
think,
If you
yeah,
say so.
flowering plants or angiosperms or what. I mean, yeah, that sounds like that could be
Yeah.
right.
Well, we talked
So,
before with the Plants Will Always Win podcast, and they made it sound like plant crossover, hybridization of plants is way easy. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's how
I,
they made it sound.
There's
y-
600 recognized plant families in total. Yeah.
yeah. So,
416 families of angiosperms. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
but when we
Anyway, sorry.
think about that in context of insects, where if we look at, there can be 100 families under one order of, like,
Yeah.
Hymenoptera, I think there's like 150 families or whatever. And that's
Yeah.
just one group of insects. Why has plant radiation been so different? I don't want to say truncated, but I guess
Not
kind
as
of.
numerous as
Yeah.
insects. I mean, I don't know, man. It could be a spatial limitation. I mean, I'm sure someone is I've never that's something I've never really thought of before because I've only dabbled in entomology. But
I would assume it was movement alone. I mean,
Maybe
I know with
dispersal.
when we've talked about bugs, it's like, hey, these two bugs were the same, but then a river ran through it. And now the two bugs
Well,
on either side of the river are different bugs because
yeah,
they,
why do they speciate so much more? I
yeah.
mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry, not trying to do a gotcha. I'm just curious.
No,
I
it's
don't
not
know
a
anything
gotcha at
about
all. It's
plants.
a fascinating question. I mean, I'm not trying to come off here as like some know-it-all. Like, if I had some like instant pushback question without thinking about it, I'd be like, what the fuck? I'd be just full of shit. But um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's spatial limitations. Most plants get a lot bigger than insects, so that's a
Mm.
thing. I mean, it would have to be reproductively speaking, yeah, most living plants are insect pollinated, or
So there's
as opposed to
relationships.
wind. Yeah, so I don't know. I think there's probably just yeah, I think most insects just don't get that big. There's more room for them.
Mm.
Uh there's more abundance for them. Plants are limited if they're limited spatially and they're limited in terms of where they can grow, whereas insects mostly eat plants and other insects.
Yeah.
Um, and they only reach such a big size. I mean, with a couple exceptions, there's just more room for insects, I feel like, and there's more abundance for them in terms of a food source. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
fair. I was just thinking about that smaller sort of radiation of plants. Not, I guess not just in comparison to insects, but maybe I don't know shit
But
about
then compared to
vertebrates. Yeah,
vertebrates, there's way more
way more
plants.
plants
You're gonna need like a spatial limitation because most vertebrates,
are large.
tend to be, especially compared to insects, larger. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Um, I just know, I'll tell you, Joey, I don't know shit about plants, so I'm constantly,
It's okay. I don't know
you know,
much about books. I
You
like
work in a plant
my
lab
daughter
having fun.
likes them. My
yeah,
daughter
well,
likes them. I'm glad my daughter's not afraid of them. I saw her carrying a spider yesterday. It was like one that could bite her, like not
aw,
as like a little jelly. And I was so proud. I was like, yeah, it's
that's
so
great.
pathetic when kids are afraid of nature, man. I feel so bad for them. Their parents need to be penalized somehow or something. Like
I
My
you you failed as a parent if you've
get
kept your
scared.
kids isolated from the living world, you know.
my oldest is
So
we call him a stay home boy. He likes to stay home, which often translates to being inside. But the last few weeks, I was out gardening, and he just came out with me and was like, "What are we doing?" And it's been awesome that like our after school activity has become, let's go look at what's outside and go find some roly polies and let's chop
yeah,
down
roly
this
poly.
this tree that's doing nobody any good, because it's
Roly polies, worms, yeah,
yeah.
All
beetles,
that good
all that
stuff.
stuff.
Yesterday he picked up an
'Cause most
earwig, and I was like, "You're gonna pick up that earwig right now?" And he was like,
but
"Yeah."
most insects can't hurt you. So,
Yeah,
it's
they're mostly
this
harmless.
this aversion to bugs is just wild to me. I mean,
Well,
Sadly, my husband is one of those.
what sucks about
Deathly
it
afraid.
is so I have my friends have children. I don't have kids. My friends do. And when they're little, they would come and bring me bugs from the backyard. Aunt Kelly, what is this bug or whatever? And I would tell them, and it's great. And then the minute these kids go off to school
Yeah.
and they're around other kids, they come back and they go, ew, that bug is yucky. These fucking kids are teaching each other that the bugs are yucky. And they're,
tell the kid, "You're yucky.
yeah, there are no yucky bugs.
You're
Come on.
yucky."
What
So
have
then I
you
have to
done for the
Now I
planet
reteach
think,
them.
lately, Becky? Ugh.
you grow. I mean, it's the thing. We grow up. I mean, increasingly more so. We grow up sterilized in these in
Mhm.
the human world of indoor lighting and knowing the drywall and the acrylic carpet. Well, I don't really use carpet anymore, thank God. But that, and then like the commercial signs for all the businesses in the parking lots, all the fucking asphalt, all the parking
Mhm.
lots,
So
miles,
many parking
endless
lots.
miles, oceans of asphalt. And it's just, I always think like, you as humans, you always say it used to be we were like estimated to be 300,000 years old as a species. Now I think they pushed it back a little bit more, a million or something. Um, but for all of that time, we were surrounded by insects and plants, and we knew all of them. And now we live in these
Please.
lives where we're isolated from it. And to think, if people think that doesn't mess you up psychologically, they're nuts. They're totally nuts. You can't take something that evolved in one situation and then basically completely remove it from that situation, as most people are, and then expect that it's not going to have any psychological repercussions on the human psyche.
We need to be
It's
outside.
crazy.
We
Well,
need
what's
to
that?
be in
What's the
nature.
internet
We need to be
phrase?
surrounded by trees.
I mean, that's become the catch-all term for like you need to go outside is touch grass. You need to touch grass
Yeah, I know, but I
Yeah.
hate that though too, because even
because
that's
grass
fucked.
is
People
bad.
We
associate
don't want
turf
grass.
grass with
Yeah.
nature. It's like, what the
You
fuck?
need to
Like
go
you even,
outside and
I
climb
mean,
a
you see
tree.
the bias in that phrase itself, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go out and play with some bugs. That's what you need to start telling people. Fuck
I
touching
try.
I
grass. That's
will.
Yeah.
like you need to go vandalize some grass. You need to go rip up some sod. That's what I
You need to go
tell
find
people.
a European yard and get rid of it.
I have like a few packets of milkweed seeds that I gorilla bomb in my city as I'm walking around for to help out the monarchs and the other
Nice.
I know
butterflies.
there was some controversy about those because they're like, "Hey, make sure you get a native seed packet when you do that."
Yes.
I trust that you personally have done that.
Yes, I use
So
natives
make sure you
only.
get native plants when you're doing the
Hmm.
Parmesan
I mean,
cheese
any
method.
milkweeds you're gonna get, like none of the Mexican milkweeds. It's Curicivica, I think, is the one that's everyone's freaking out about all the time. They wouldn't survive in New Jersey anyway, so
It's too cold
I
and
you're
know.
windy
safe.
up here, right?
Yeah, you're safe.
But
But bring a little trowel too, so you can clear some soil away, and when next time you saw them or something.
I could do that. I usually just try to, the city is always so busy, so I try to like do it so no one sees what I'm doing. Um,
Achoo.
No, you should do it
like
so they see what you're doing, and then when they
maybe
ask, "What are you doing?" you say, "I'm planting milkweed seeds."
that's true. Yeah, who's gonna
Yeah.
stop me? No one, right?
I will crochet you one of those butterfly crochet where they look like butterfly wings. I will send that to you, and then you wear that, and then
And
you
I'll
go
wear it
around
while I'm
planting the
doing
milk.
it.
You're like, I'm a monarch butterfly. You can't question me. And then you just
Do my
run,
seed thing.
run.
Joey, do you have any recommendations for I'll call it guerrilla gardening in your town or city on how to do this in a way that actually helps?
Yeah, I mean, it's all just varies by wherever the locale is. But I always recommend mulch because it helps suppress weeds and it makes you don't have to water as much. I always recommend planting small because it's better versus, when you plant large things that are from like a 10, especially if it's like a tree from a 10-gallon pot or something. I mean, the trees want to get their roots deep. If it got big and it's still in a pot, its roots are probably cold around the bottom. It's going to take longer to get established. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'll normally take sticks, like a 2 foot tall branch or something, and hammer that into the ground next to whatever I plant so people don't step on it. It just
Oh, yeah.
depends, it depends on whether the property is owned, whether it's neglected, whether it's a vacant lot, whether it's up against the fence, whether it's, a place that someone's paying to maintain. In which case it might get mowed down whenever the crew comes it all just depends. So I think you got to scout the spot out for a while, right? Which requires going outside and just knowing and the easiest place to do it is always in your neighborhood, places you're going to be walking by anyway, right? And so you walk by those places, you pay attention to them, you pay attention to the vacant lots, you pay attention to, is that spot getting mowed? Is anyone taking care of it? Obviously, the stuff that's neglected is the easiest.
Yeah. We have a big vacant lot near us that is currently being I guess I think it's blocked off because we have high levels of chromium here in my city.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gnarly. But that's pretty empty. I think I could probably just bomb a bunch of plants in there and no one would notice.
Yeah, if you're just like throwing broadcasting seeds, I mean, they might come up this year, they might come up next year. It
Yeah.
might, it's why, like, if you really want stuff to grow, it's always helps to clear away the duff a little bit and get them inside. I always recommend planting on fence lines because if stuff does get mowed, it's harder for the mowers to go up against the
Hmm.
fence. Um, it always depends on what you're planting too. Edge of a piece of sidewalk or edge of a piece of asphalt. can always be nice too, because that's where all the runoff is gonna be funneled into. So like if you drive down I-10 in Arizona after a rain, the highest density of, wildflowers is always right off the highway because the rain hits at the highway and then runs off.
Yeah, makes sense.
Um, so yeah, I mean everything is just, again, just go out there and think about stuff. Just think about what you're looking at, how things are gonna, grow, etc.
Nice.
Um,
So
Did you want to talk to us a little bit about your kill your lawn philosophy, which I absolutely agree with?
I was literally about to ask, like,
Were you?
okay,
well,
if I
I
want to
mean,
get rid of
yeah,
my
I
grass, what am I
mean,
putting in?
I just think a lot of people have turf grass because that it just came with the house. They don't know what else to do, and most people are so plant blind, and because all the habitat's been destroyed, there's little exposure to wild plants anymore. And so, I mean, the grass thing. You always hear these guys too. It's always suburban men. It was like,
It's
well, my
always,
kids
yeah,
like to play in the grass. Like, really? Do your kids like to play in the grass? They like to just go sit out there in the fucking grass on a
just
hot
rolling
July
around in the grass.
afternoon.
I love
And just like I
grass.
didn't like to do that. Like if I wanted to kick a soccer ball, then I would go to the park. I wouldn't just go, like it's mostly useless. And like no, you like it. Like, it's
Yeah.
you're like a middle-aged suburban man that because this is part of the symbol and it puts part of the whole, suburban lifestyle, you're trying to emulate whatever. But I think that's changing because people realize how how stupid it is. People think, oh, it's low maintenance. I don't have to do anything. It's like, no, it's actually pretty high maintenance. You got to go out there a week and every week and spend an hour cutting it. That's not,
And all the
versus you
chemical
do,
treatments for it too.
yeah, versus you do a couple days of like spreading mulch and planting some natives. And all you have to do once in a while is like weed every once in a while until the natives grow in and outcompete the light. And then hedge it like to keep the plants out of the path every once in a while. That's what you got to do once you get a native garden. But again, it's hard for people to know that if there's no one to hold their hand, show them. Um, it can be tricky. So I get it. But I think, yeah, the grass thing. I mean, and I'm not anti turf grass. I'm just anti it being the standard, and it's being normalized. I mean, it causes flooding because the turf grass roots don't go very deep. And so beneath that, what do you have? You have compacted soil that water can't really infiltrate. And compare that with like perennial shrubs where the roots go down 2 or 3 feet, 20 feet in some cases, depending on what region of the country you're in, and break up the soil. And they don't form a tight seal with the soil, those roots. Like their water can still get in there and infiltrate. And so we've got what is essentially a dry sponge. And if you pour water on a dry sponge that's sitting on a countertop, there's not going to be a puddle around that sponge until that sponge gets completely saturated with water, right? Assuming you're doing like a slow trickle. And so that's a great way to help water get into the ground versus, turf ground. One of the biggest complaints because we filmed a couple of episodes of Kill Your Lawn in the Baltimore, DC area. And one of the biggest complaints people had there was because of all the turf grass we have, we get massive flooding, right? You get a like even a little slope with turf grass lawn, the water hits it, penetrates 2 inches, and then just starts running off to the side. When you get 50 to 60 inches of rain in a year, that can lead to some massive flooding, especially if you can get 6 inches of rain in a weekend.
Yeah.
And so, it's yeah, they're just horrible. And then of course, I mean, obviously all the water it takes to keep these things alive in Texas, everywhere from Texas west. It's just totally shit for brain. It's a crazy thing that's been normalized, right? It's got a place for sports fields and for, certain parks for people to have picnics, but for it to just be every lawn has that. And then all the shit you have to put on it to keep it alive because again, it's stressed out.
Yeah.
Most turf grass doesn't just like the species that are used don't stop growing at 2 inches, right? They have to get mowed. So when you're just going by cutting it every week, the lawn's stressed out, the roots don't go any deeper and then it's just out there getting baked by the sun. So it's in a perpetual state of stress, and it's getting outcompeted by any other, creeping Charlie or any other dandelions, whatever they can move in there. So you've got to put on herbicides, apply herbicides to it and pesticides because the grubs are going to go in there because you've got a monoculture of this bullshit. And so you just end up poisoning your kids.
Yep.
Have fun with
Yeah.
the lymphoma in 20 years, and then the rest will go into the water supply. So you're poisoning everyone else too. It's fucking insane. It's totally nuts. And it's so stupid, right? And the only thing I ever hear back from people, and it's always normally men, once in a while you get a Karen, but it's always like, oh, it's messy. If we didn't have lawns, the ticks are gonna come in. It's gonna be all ticks. It's like, man, motherfucker, you haven't spent a single day hiking anywhere in the last
Yeah,
15 years. The fuck do you know about ticks
nothing.
and insects? Like, you go back working your insurance company job. No offense to insurance agents, okay? Go back to working as a fucking data entry, whatever you do, like it's day trading or whatever they do. I mean, it's always the same dumb shit I hear from people. And again, I can't really fault them because they don't know any better, and they're just but it's the arrogance that gets me. It's not the ignorance, it's the arrogance. Like, it's like, you're listen, man. Just like,
Well,
there's ways around that. I
part
don't
of
know.
the arrogance is they don't want to change either. They kind of want you to reinforce their like what they want,
Right. They
which
want you to
like why are you
confirm
even
that they're
asking the
doing a good
question in
job.
the first
Yeah.
place?
Yeah, I always think of that. There was some lady who was getting messed with in Long Island, and she was like some older Asian lady, and her yard looked fucking awesome. And she had all these cool insects in it, butterflies and stuff. And then then they hit up the mayor. It was a news channel filming this because she was getting sued by the city or something. And then they hit up the mayor, and the mayor is this kind of frumpy looking dude who looks like he manages a Subway or something. And no, again, no offense to any Subway managers. I'm just saying maybe their opinion is not the one to go to for how someone's yard should look.
Yeah.
And he's like, with all due respect, that lady's yard looks fucking hideous. Or it looks
Ah,
freaking hideous. And it's like, what does this guy have? What, he's like a mayor of like some podunk town in like Long
He
Island? What
doesn't
is it?
know
What do you
anything. Yeah.
that's like me having an opinion on neurosurgery. Like, actually, Barry, you shouldn't. That's it. When you're slicing in with the scale, you should do this way, and use this anesthetic, that anesthetic instead. Like, no, it doesn't matter. Sit down. So
It's really annoying. I hear that with like bug stuff too. People ask me, "Oh, well, I know these caterpillars are eating my trees or they're eating my plants." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what they do. That's their job. Their
they're
job
out.
is to eat that so other things can eat them and we get energy transfer up the
They are
food chain."
famously very, very hungry caterpillars.
And
That's what they
again, you
do.
can't fault people for not knowing, because I didn't know that. I would plant something, and then like I'd plant the milkweed, then aphids would end up in it and be like, oh, they're messing with my milkweed. But
Oh yeah,
and then
the
slowly I
aphids.
realized, like, oh, these things have evolved together over millions of
Hmm.
years. If they could wipe out the milkweed entirely, they would have done so. It
Right.
wouldn't be here right
Yeah,
now.
it's not going to kill your
And
plant.
so and so it's a native insect hitting a native thing. Just let it be, whatever, man. And it'll be fine. It's got a big root in the ground. It'll come back. You just chill out. You start, but it takes a minute to get into that. And again, I get
Yeah.
that, but it's the arrogance of the naysayers that really drives me nuts. And it's like, brother, you have no idea what you're talking about, right? Like, you're a city politician in Long Island. You're not an ecologist. You're not a scientist. You're afraid of nature. No offense, okay, but just your opinion doesn't count. Okay, you have nothing to say about this, right? And then you see the stuff that those kinds of people do like, and it's the shit that makes me die on the inside
It's
when I
golf
see it.
course
The
plants.
horticultural atrocity gardens, the stuff you see at a lot of botanic gardens on the East Coast, right? Because a lot of this shit comes out of the botanic gardens.
Yeah.
Right. I spent 20 years living in California, where they got some really cool. The Botanic Garden there is like a museum of plants from all over the world that aren't just planted because they're pretty and they've got color. It's like, no, they're pieces of an ecosystem and they're interesting. And so that's why they're planted over there. You go to the South African section, it looks like plants you'd see in South Africa. You go to the Mexico section,
Cool.
it looks like plants you'd see in Mexico. You go to the Chile section, it looks like plants you'd see in Chile. It's all grouped geographically. But these botanic gardens, from like Missouri Botanical Garden to all these ones that a lot of East Coast gardens too, where that you go there and it's just shit you could buy at Home Depot, planted in the beds, but it's arranged by color and
I
by
hate
and
arranged by
symmetric.
color. I
And
hate
the
it so
donors,
much.
but most importantly, the donors like it.
Yeah.
And they're going to give us a lot of money.
Gotta
It's
please
so
the donors,
gross, man.
Joey.
It's so gross. Yeah, I hate that shit. And so when you've got that as the standard, right? It's just like standards of beauty for people. When their standard of beauty is Mar-a-Lago face, that's what everyone's going to do.
Oh,
And
it's
anyone who doesn't have
awful.
Mar-a-Lago face is going to be seen to be hideous,
Yeah.
right? And so when your standard of beauty for plants is going to be, is that grotesque rich person botanic garden shit, then you're going to see nature and you're like, oh, it's messy. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just bulldoze it. Get rid of it.
The beauty of plants is their incredible diversity. I mean, all the tiny, interesting little flowers, the leaf arrangements, whether they're variegated or not,
All
all
the
the wild
relations.
things that they
Yeah.
do.
Like the specificity that, how many species of oligolectic bee are there in North America? There's like 1,000 or 2,000 or
Yeah,
something, like
yeah.
pollen specificity. Like if the plant goes extinct, that insect goes extinct, that bee goes extinct.
Hmm.
That's fascinating, man. How does that happen? How does that evolve? The specificity, these are all pieces of a Jenga tower of like an intricate living machine, and we're disassembling it because we're fucking idiots, because because the society that we're living in isn't the
Society is
isn't the
bad.
evolved enough yet, right? It's not
The
evolved enough yet.
society.
We're not enlightened enough yet. We're not smart enough yet. So
It's incredible the host specificity of some insects where they really only have either one plant they eat or they reproduce on. I stress
yeah,
this in my classes when I teach my students. I'm an adjunct professor, Joey, and I teach ecology, and I'm constantly telling them it is like a Jenga tower. You can't pull one thing out and expect the tower to hold, especially when we're losing biodiversity at an alarming rate and have been
yeah.
in plants and insects for decades now.
Yes, people don't realize the monarch milkweed, situation is an
Dire.
analogy for thousands of other, well, it's an analogy for thousands of other relationships.
Hmm.
Pipevine, swallowtails, and pipevine, right? The
Yeah.
aristolochia. You lose the aristolochia, you lose the butterfly. The butterfly also pollinates a lot of other things. The passiflora species and the specific butterflies that need passiflora to eat. But, there's so many cases of that. Um, just with Lepidoptera, it's
Yeah.
wild.
And yeah,
This
that's
should,
just
I
one
mean, all the
group.
kids should be taught this. Fuck the cotton gin and all this bullshit they teach in. Kids should learn to identify. They should have like mandatory nature education.
Hmm.
Seriously. I mean, God, you get taught a lot of stupid shit in school at that age anyway. Why not?
Plenty
Yeah,
of things you'll never remember.
the relationship, I mean, there's like
Yeah,
4-H clubs and stuff. Like, I've never attended a 4-H club. I don't know how much they stress like our relationship with the native life as we essentially force it to do
yeah.
something else.
Reading, math, basic botany, basic biology, insect identification. That
Mhm.
should all be, geologic time scale all before fifth grade. I'm
Yeah.
serious. I'm not even kidding. I'm definitely,
Yeah.
otherwise you're going to get a society of dummies that are afraid to go outside.
The
Well, we waste
plants
a lot of
crave
time on silly
electrolytes.
topics.
Right. Yeah. Plants crave
They
electrolytes,
need
really. I
the
mean,
electrolytes. That's what they
the
crave.
simulation's so fucked up these days. I wouldn't be surprised if someone in the administration said that tomorrow. So,
Like quoted Pulp
you know,
Fiction the other day. So
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so it's been a big part of our podcast is we do talk about biodiversity and the importance of the plant insect relationship. If folks are looking to plant more native plants in their yard, to either one because native plants are awesome, or two because they're looking to attract specific insects or birds. The amount of birds you attract with plant life is pretty incredible. We probably don't talk about that enough. How do people find out what's like the easiest way to figure out what native plants are appropriate for your region?
I always recommend going to iNaturalist, the app and the
Mhm.
website. You can use the explore feature, type in your county, your state, and then plants in the taxon field, and you get a list of all the plants. The problem with that is you're going to get, probably a quarter of what you'll get is invasive species or non-native. So you have to look a little bit harder. And, when you find a plant that's there that you're interested in, say, is it native? Is it invasive? Whatever. Um, Another great website is bplant.org, just the letter B and then plant.org. And then there's like a bioregions map of North America. You can click on the bioregions, click on your specific bioregion. And then at the base of the website, at the bottom, there's like a native plant list thing. You can click on the native plant list and you'll get a list of everything from that region, common name, scientific name, etc. It's an amazing resource. It's really cool. I just found it a few months ago, so I don't
That's
know who
awesome.
does it or anything, but it's great.
That's really cool. Yeah, I didn't know about bplant.org. I've used iNaturalist before for things. I think you can sort
Mhm.
through that if it's cultivated or not. You can just tell it you don't want any cultivated and you don't want invasives.
Yeah, there's filters. Yeah.
I think there's filters. So what is your, I guess, what is your big take home then? And I know you do a lot of talks and a lot of obviously you've got the YouTube channel. If there's like one main message to tell folks, what would that be?
I think just, anywhere you're at, be paying attention to plants. We've got these, you know, uh, nonstop distractions in our pockets, these mini computers, and
Mm.
you can use them for good though, too. Right? Rather than just to, make yourself feel bad about yourself by comparing yourself to other people or whatever the thing, the social media algorithm. Use them to learn about the world around you. Download iNet, download Wikipedia, download the Merlin Bird app, which is really cool. You can, listen for, it'll tell you what birds are around you just by audio detection. And just try to get around plants in general, and always ask what family something's in and whether it's native or not. If it's native, that means obviously it's a product of that region. It evolved in that region. It's a product of that region. It's a product of natural selection in that region, and all the other things that it evolved with in that region. It's a product of those. And I think just bringing more awareness to people. I mean, if you don't have a yard, you can't kill your lawn. It's still go out and just learn about this stuff, and it's fucking good for your health, man. It really is. It's like exercise, right? You need mental exercise, you need physical exercise, and you need exposure to the living world. If you don't have any of those, you're gonna go fucking nuts,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
you're gonna just end up playing video games, or best case scenario, or worse, you're gonna end up getting, just addicted to something else. Like, right? There's name your vice. Um, it's rough out there in the human world that we've made. It can be really bleak. I think so. I think if for those that don't think so, I think they're lying to themselves, or maybe they live in some other alternate reality. I don't know. But the good news is the answer is there. It's nature, and it's taking care of yourself, and you know, doing what you need to be healthy. And nature just needs to be such a part of that. I don't even like the word nature. It's the real world. It's not
Yeah.
nature. It's just the living world. So I think that's all it is, right? Just getting people to pay attention to this and just understand it and respect it. And once they do it, it feels so good. It becomes just a positive feedback loop. So
We need it, I think. We need to be outside. I know after
mm,
like a long week of work, when now that summer's here, I'll get to do field work with students. We're doing like some roly-poly surveys outside, and it's just gonna feel
nice.
so good to be outside, flipping rocks, breaking up, like
I know
old
how much you
trees and
love to
shit.
flip a rock,
I
Kelly.
love to flip a rock and see who's under there and where they
Absolutely
came
down
from
here.
and what their
Yeah,
deal is. Like
yeah, for sure.
we all need to be outside. That's what it is. Do you, I guess one last question from me. Joey, do you have a bucket list plant you've never seen that you want to?
Uh,
Yeah, is there one that you love?
God, man, I don't know. There's so many that, not really, no.
People
I
always talk about
mean,
that
there's
corpse
nothing that,
flower. Like it's like the
yeah,
coolest.
I mean, I've seen those. I've seen relatives of those in the wild. They have those in the Philippines too. The Amorphophallus.
I've never
No, I
smelled
mean,
one. Do they really smell
I
that
like
bad?
everything. Yeah, but there's lots of plants that capitalize on fly
Yeah, it's
pollination
for
by
flies.
smelling bad. Rafflesia does that. That was a pretty cool one to see that I just saw in a parasitic plant. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just so much bizarre stuff out there. Um, there's a lot of stuff at higher elevations in the Andes I'd like to see. It's like Bolivia. Really want to go to Bolivia at some point soon. Um,
What
yeah, man,
um
there's so much. I don't even have a favorite. There's just too much. I want all of it. So
what are plants at high elevations characteristics? I haven't really thought about that.
depends on what latitude they're at. If they're in like continental United States, they tend to be uh have exposure to cold a lot, but or have adaptations for exposure to cold. But if you're on the equator and you're at 13,000 feet, you've got exposure to chilliness, but it doesn't get anywhere near as cold as it does. It might freeze or frost occasionally, but it's winter every day, or it's summer every day and winter every night. So it depends on what
Very
latitude you're
harsh.
at, you know.
Yeah.
People tend to get shorter the higher up the mountain you get.
And so it's the UV, yeah, the UV gets more intense, and then the temperature fluctuations, you know, like if you're on the equator, it'll still be 75 during the day, 80 during the day, but then it'll swing down to, 30 at night. Um, but generally it's like on the drier side of the Andes, you get a lot of matted plants, right? Like they stay close to the ground where it's warmer, they don't get very tall. They get the matted kind of cesspitose, like carpet cushion plants, as they call it. Same thing in Tasmania gets a lot of that stuff too. Tasmania is at a higher latitude, obviously farther away from the equator, but yeah, you see the same convergence,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Stay close to the ground, rosette leaves, that kind of thing. Don't get very tall. Got a lot of wind and cold to deal with. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Amanda, did you have any other questions for Joey?
Well, I know
We
here
don't
in
want to take
Portland
too much of your time.
it's popular to replace your grass with clover. Should I do that, or am I crazy to
no,
think
fuck
that's
clover. No, clover's European. Fuck it. No,
all right?
there's cool. It's just get a dump load of mulch
Okay.
dropped, and kill the lawn, put cardboard down to the mulch over it, and then you can, throughout the next year or two, as you decide to, you can start planting some natives around there. You just kind of have to dig through the cardboard whenever you plant it. But
Yeah.
no, the clover thing, I hate that. It's
Yeah.
it's it's a
Really?
weed. It's a European invasive species.
That's why I'm asking, because that's like
It
becoming
benefits.
popular as like
No,
the
I get it. I get it. No, but it benefits honeybees. I always get pissed off when I see honeybees. I kill honeybees. I don't like them. Right?
Yeah.
At least if they're feral. If they're feral honeybees, I kill them. And down where I live, they're all deadly too. So
I've had lots of rants about honeybees and how much all these clowns are like, "Oh, you need to protect the bee," and they only mean the honeybee. And I'm like, the honeybee isn't from here. It's like ruining our native bees.
right.
It drives me crazy. How about we
Yeah, and,
protect
and again,
native
it's
bees?
and again, it's you can't fault them because they don't know. Nature's
Yeah.
nature's dying right now, but we're in the sixth mass extinction. They don't know. But when you tell them, and then they're like, "Huh," they stick to their guns. You're
They
like,
get
"Okay, you
mad.
know
well,
what?"
I mean, the campaign
They get
worked. We
really
got to
mad.
save the whales and save the bees, and they don't really understand what that
People
really
just don't
means.
know that there's other bees and
Yeah.
there's cooler bees out there,
Way
right? And like
cooler.
for me, like I really started hating honeybees when I started getting attacked by them because they're all that Scutelata hybrid
Oh, yeah.
down here. So I had the killer bee guy on my podcast a couple months ago. It was pretty fun.
Oh, that's awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about how cool buzz pollination is, and that's what our native bees
Mhm.
do. Um,
Yeah, yeah, man. And
it's
we get all
incredible.
kinds of cool cactus bees down where I live. They're
Oh, neat.
beautiful. The little goblin bees too, like those things. The more honeybees you have, the less of those you'll have, right? It's just
Yeah, we'll
simple
beat them.
math
Yep.
Yeah.
of too many species competing for limited resources, and the honeybees are too aggressive. So
Honeybees are aggressive. There are like 10,000 of them in one hive or more, and then our native bees are either solitary or you've got like 300 bumbles in a colony. They can't compete with those
yeah,
numbers.
saying save the honeybees is like saying save the wildlife when what you really mean is save the cows.
Yeah,
It's the
save the
same
Yeah,
Jersey
thing.
cow.
yeah, yeah. They are. They're cows. They're
Save the
flying cows.
cows. They're going extinct. Save the cow.
The tansies killing them off.
Mm.
Sorry, hold on.
All
My
right,
computer's being dumb. Hold on. There we go. All right, I finally got it to go. Okay, so
all
you may have
right.
seen me looking off to the side while you were talking, and I promise I wasn't not paying attention. I was doing a quick little sketch for you. Um, so we feature these on our website as Bug Heroes, and I will do these portraits for people we have on the podcast. So here's the
How'd you
sketch.
do that? You drew the face and everything really quick?
Yeah, while you were talking,
You didn't use AI or nothing for that.
here's my pencil
Damn.
in my hand, man.
Wow, you're fucking talented. That's
Oh, thank
amazing.
you.
That's really nice.
Uh, so I'll color that up and get you a final version of that, and then we usually put it on the website with the link to our episode featuring this week's Bug Hero. And this
What
week
are
you
you
can
drawing
see.
on an iPad or something or what?
I'm drawing on a Surface Pro. It's getting old though. Unfortunately, 7 years is a long time in computer land.
It's like a tablet made for drawing,
So
huh?
yeah. It's I can lift it up here. Hold on. It's like a tablet, and it attaches to this keyboard that comes off, and then I can just draw
Cool.
directly on the. It's called the Surface because you draw it directly on the surface.
Nice.
Joey, do you have favorite plants? Because Amanda can sub in two
Yeah, I
favorite.
can sub in better plants than just I just drew leafy boys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let me think. What would have to be a cactus?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, any kind of cactus
All
would
right,
be.
I'll sub in some cactus
I
boys.
think that kind of fits my personality too, probably.
Yeah, Amanda will get this full color for you and we'll send it to you. And you can use it, in your social media or just have like whatever you want to do with it. But
Yeah. No,
all of
no
Yeah,
our
pressure from us.
yeah.
make one a little peyote clump with like
Peyote.
8 heads, and then make the other like a tall, narrow, spiny cactus. It really means spines.
Cool.
Just quickly wrote those things down. All right.
Or you know what, a nopal. They make the other one a nopal. That'd be more funny. Yeah. What is? Yeah, great.
Yeah, so we'll get a full color version to you when Amanda's all done. Um,
That's really nice. Yeah, thanks. That's cool.
we really appreciate your time. I know you're a super busy dude.
Busy guy.
Um, you would you like to plug your book? I know you have a book that's out right now. Can you want to tell
Oh,
us
yeah, I
about
guess
that?
the publisher would want me to. Yeah, it's called Concrete Botany. It's about a lot of the things we kind of talked about today. And it's really, I guess it's really geared towards lay people, towards someone who's curious about botany and wants to get more into it, but isn't sure where to start, and is also curious how I got started, and then I start talking about some of the plants that grow around, cities all over the world, Mexico City, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, etc.
Awesome. And if folks are looking for you online, where can they find you? We'll also put links in the show notes.
Oh, I got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. I don't update the YouTube as much as I used to. I used to put out like 1 or 2 videos a week. Now it's like one video every 2 weeks. I've just been super busy.
Yeah.
I'm working on a third book that's just plant photographs, like,
Oh,
uh,
cool.
basically little plant profiles of plants from all over the world. And yeah, that's it. And then I got a podcast I do occasionally, like once every week or two. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, we really, really appreciate your time, Joey. Thanks so much for coming on the show. You were great. And
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Well, if you're a native species and you find yourself growing somewhere, feel free to head on over to your local keyboard and type in BugsNeedHeroes at gmail.com and send us a message, or Bugs Need Heroes at Reddit, or Bugs Need Heroes at, you get it, Bugs Need Heroes. You can find us there. And when you find us there, send us a message and talk to us. And send us pictures of your native plants. We want
yeah,
to
we
see
love
them.
it.
We want to know what's natively growing all around this beautiful world of ours. And until then, we love you. Bye. Bugs Need Heroes was created by Derek Conrad and Kelly Zimmerman. Hosted by Amanda Niday and Kelly Zimmerman. Bugs Need Heroes is produced and edited by Derek Conrad, with some assistance from Chelsea Bodden and a few cats. Character art is by Amanda Niday. Our music is Ladybug Castle by Roll Music. Got a bug question? Email us at bugsneedheroes@gmail.com. Check us out at bugsneedheroes.com, and most of the socials are under Bugs Need Heroes. Thanks for stopping by.
I just stopped early just a little bit,
Oh
so you're
my
gonna have to
gosh,
just do
my
it again.
outro, boy!
Yeah, sorry.